to turn it over to Dr. Greg Allen. We're very fortunate to hear from him. He has been, he's a legend in this district, and actually we are, each year the Ed Foundation recognizes somebody in the community who contributes to just the general welfare of children in the community, and we were pleased to honor Dr. Allen at as our honoree last year for all his work that he's done with children, speaking to parents. He runs the Freedom for You nonprofit that provides children. I know he's going to tell you more about it, but I just want to say provides children with teenagers in particular with safe, healthy activities to keep them away from bad influences, harmful environments, and through music, creativity, singing, photography, filmmaking. There's so many events that Freedom for You sponsors. He's also was instrumental in getting the annex, the teen annex, up and running, which is I think they've now relocated across the street from the library. Another safe place for kids, for teenagers only, to gather after school, so they're not kind of hanging in the streets or doing things they should be doing. So it's just perfect that you're here to speak tonight in this group. So I think you can tell them more, but
thank you very much. I think I can stop now. That was such a nice introduction. Well, good evening, everyone. It's good to be here. And I think I've been coming here for, many, many years at the beginning of school. Usually it's a sixth grade parent night. But how many sixth grade parents do we have here? And seventh? And eighth? And how many of you have high schoolers? 3 of you? Weary hands going in? So this is, anybody heard of Freedom for You? So it's a youth nonprofit organization on the Hill here for about 13 years, although we do things throughout the South Bay now, in San Diego, Redondo High School, Maricosta, middle school, high school kids. And there's a card back there and a lot of healthy activities. And I'll talk about it later. There's a handout if you didn't get one back there to kind of, when you go home, you can go, what did that guy say? I think he said something good. Now, what was that? You can look on here and try to find it on this little sheet of paper here. It's a little summary of some of the things I'm going to talk about. So one of the, so I'm a therapist, and my greatest claim to fame is the bottom sentence there. And Jessie Allen is so good here. And her parents must really be exceptional. That's all I have to say. And we'll just go to the next slide.
The on button on the side.
Oh, turn it on.
Yes.
So when you have someone come to talk to you, like me, so I'm from the psychological world, right? So you could have people speak to you about educational things, about how to study, about SATs, about sports in the community, etc. So when you get someone to come like me, then you get to hear about some things that aren't going so well. But the important thing about what I'm going to talk about tonight is that sometimes we don't want to talk about things that are not going well, right? We don't want to talk about pain. Maybe we don't want to talk about struggles because we want to talk about achievement, success, and doing well. And most of the kids in our district here will do that. They will achieve and they will do well. But there's a theme going on, and it's kind of evolving each year. It's building on its own theme. And one of these things, and this is not me, my message, this is a message from the Stanford professors. Did anybody go to Peninsula High that night? Okay, so the lady spoke there, 800 parents. And then the same thing, we do Maricosta environment, Manhattan Beach, very similar to here. It's very high achievement, high energy, go, do, be. So along with what they've found across the country in high achieving areas where the focus is on, getting A's and doing a lot of club stuff and doing sports and being everything and doing everything for this college application, is there's some fallout from that. And they're finding out that they were surprised that across the country there was elevated levels of anxiety in these kids from these areas, and depression, and drug use, and even suicidality, that it was higher in high achieving areas. And some of it is because kids are overscheduled, they're just doing too much. They're living to please everybody else. They're living to please their parents, the community. It's all like external focused, what I can get, what my accolades are, what my achievements are, what my GPA is. And they have no sense of who they are on the inside. They're not developing themselves as a person. And the other second thing is the kids have a real disconnect from their parents across the country, high achieving districts, teens. Felt a disconnect. Now you may feel like, well, I'm not disconnected from my kids. We're all together every day. I'm taking them to practice. I'm going here, I'm going there. But we're so busy sometimes we're not connecting like person to person. Like when you just ask someone, how are you? And then you actually listen because you're interested in how they are. And you connect on that level. The way you might with a friend. And sometimes with our kids we don't do that. We're molding and shaping and orchestrating our kids and signing them up and making sure they're doing everything, and they're like our little mini-me's. You know, we're kind of shaping them and forming them and developing them, and they're not really learning to think for themselves. So last year that was a lot of the theme. There was kind of, some books were written and people were talking about that across the country. Now this year, so that these kids in these high-achieving districts are having some of these social emotional problems. This year they're realizing that college freshmen are not prepared to manage outside the home. They can't manage their life. They can't manage their schedules. When do I go to class? When should I do this? When should I study? Social life, being away from home. Because the parents have been doing everything for them, scheduling them, making sure they do everything, protecting them from consequences. UC, how hard is it to get in some UC schools? Very hard. UCLA turns away like 5,000 kids that have 4.0 or higher get turned away. Berkeley's almost impossible. Although like 40 kids a year from Penn will go to Berkeley. And our kids go to great schools. UC, the dropout rate for freshman year now, I heard just 3 weeks ago, I was astonished, talking to the Redondo principal, was 40%. 40% freshman year UC, kids can't get through the year. And it's not because the work's hard. They're finding kids across the country, I didn't read the article, but I can remember it. They're having a hard time coping with life. They're having a hard time coping with stress. They're having all this anxiety. You can get an A in high school because you study and everything's shaped around you and you just have to perform. Kid goes in college and gets a C in a test, it's harder, and then the kid melts down. They can't handle it. They feel like a failure. They can't handle disappointment. Parents have kind of not you guys, other people. Realize they've protected our kids so much they don't experience any setbacks, any disappointment, any pain, they can't handle anything that's unexpected or anything that's not planned. They don't know how to deal with it. They have anxiety, they're panicking. Parents are calling the college professors all the time. Right? The professor's like, why are you calling me? Well, I want to make sure he gets the right class as you come to school, So parents are over-parenting kids. There's another book we're doing, a parent night, something that's called Overworked and Underprepared. Kids are kind of overworked, they're underprepared for life. And so there's a connection the first time it's happened. The mental health part of a college campus is actually talking to the academic part. And they're going, they're putting the two pieces together. The kids are so driven and doing all this stuff, and they go, no wonder there's all this social emotional thing. Same thing in school districts, not just here, across the country and even other countries. They're realizing the value and the need for the social emotional part of a person versus just achievement and just grades and just performance. Right? So they're starting to, make that. I'm meeting with some people next week that plan services at the schools to help the kids' needs. So that's just something to think about. That's the bad news, right? You're like, what's the good news? So we need to let our kids experience life a little bit. So let's see what else we got here. Okay, so if you can see that you're not raising a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, or a 12-year-old. You're raising an 18-year-old that can function on their own one day at school, college. You're raising someone who at age 24 can manage life with all its tricks and turns and balances and how mean people are out there in the world. They're mean, right? People in the world really don't care. They don't care if you what happens to the same way mom and dad do. Right? The world is a tough place, and a lot of kids can't handle it. So you're trying to raise someone. They're 24. Hopefully they're done with college. They're working at Starbucks. No, I'm kidding. And they've earned a job. The average length of time for the first job after college is 1.5 years. And then the kid's going for a job interview for the second job. And that second employer, what do you think they care about? Did that second employer want to find out what that ACT score was? They want to know, what did they get in the SAT? How many APs did they take in high school? Do they want to know that? No. They want to talk to the first employer. And they want to know, can this person work with other people? Or are they so into themselves that they're not other-centered, they can't work in a team? Do they have the grit, the stick-to-itiveness to persevere when things are difficult? Are they going to, try to push through it? And they say a lot of our kids don't have that. They don't have that. They freak out when something doesn't go well, when they don't get an A or they don't succeed, whatever. They can't handle it. Not everybody, but a lot of kids. And are they self-motivated? They're looking for that. That's what they're looking for, to be an employee and to work in their organization. So you're raising someone who can kind of think for themselves, a 24-year-old kind of think for themselves, manage themselves, deal with life, deal with the bank account, deal with situations, and be on their own. So we need to, as a generality, kind of back off a lot with our kids and give our kids opportunities to think. Okay, and you may have to shift your parenting so that you ask more open-ended questions. Like, what do you think about your science class? How's it going for you? What do you think about your coach? How's your team? How do you feel? How do you think? So they develop some inner reflection. They have to, go inside themselves a little deeper and get their own viewpoint on life. A lot of kids have no viewpoint. They just want to do whatever the parents want them to do, whatever the school wants them to do, whatever the college classes are with them to do, whatever is better to get into the college application, they want to do that. They're not doing what they maybe want to do or what interests them or what they have a passion about. They're just living to please other people. So it's saying a lot of our high-achieving kids don't have an internal sense of self developed. Our typical parenting is we're telling our kid what to do. Right? You need to do this. Don't forget that. Did you do this? Tomorrow you got that. What are you doing there? Because it's ping pong ball. Right? By the time your kid is 10, they probably already know your whole philosophy. They do. They already know your views on life. They know what you think. What's good, what's bad. And so you could, instead of telling your kid the same thing you're going to say again and again, you could actually ask them, well, what do you think? What do you think about this thing? What do you think about that? Or how do you think I feel about it? What do you think I'm going to tell you right now? You say something like that. And you'll see they'll probably tell you 2 paragraphs, which is like, wow, that's exactly what I was going to say. For some reason, they've heard it many times. They have it memorized. So repeating ourselves, saying the same thing, isn't necessarily, drilling it in their head isn't helpful, isn't necessarily beneficial. It's hard to change your parenting though, to be more reflective. But you know how you can talk to your kids' friends? Like your kids' friends in your car after practice, so they come over, and you go, hey, how's it going? I say all these names from a long time ago. Susie, I don't know what's that. Mary, how's it going? And they go, well, fine, Mrs. So-and-so. Oh, how's science? Good. How's soccer? Good. They talk to you in the kitchen, they talk to you, and you can talk to those kids, right? And those other, your friends' kids, for the most part, they talk to you. And they tell your kid, wow, your mom's kind of cool. They go, who? That lady in the kitchen? No way. Right? So why can we talk to other people's kids, but then it's hard for our kids to talk to us? Just relaxed, talk about life kind of thing. Right? It's because we have all this emotion and all this stuff that's in the middle there, like why didn't they pick up their socks and stuff like that. And we're thinking of what they didn't do right, what they should have done, like kind of the negative. You feel we have to correct them and all this stuff. So we need to treat our kids like they're not our kids, like they're someone else's kids. And we'll treat them with a little more respect, a little more human dignity, and a little more patience, right? A little more kindness. I know you love your kids 100%. I'm not saying you don't love them. But sometimes we look at them as our little projects that we're molding and shaping. So, talk about that. Okay. Now the next one. So this one, I talked to this girl a few years ago that went to EV High and she got into UVA. What's UVA? Vermont? Virgin Islands? Very good, thank you. Virginia, sorry, I didn't live there, I gotta make a big deal of it. So she got into University of Virginia, which is, it's like an Ivy League kind of level school, very hard to get in. The valedictorians from high school, PV didn't get in, she got in. So she told me her philosophy, and since then I've heard it repeated by many professors and people around the country, even this year. She goes, a lot of people feel like the more they need to take this is high school. It's good preparation for you, and I'm sure you'll remember this in 3 years. Kids feel like they need to pad their college application with as much stuff as possible, as many APs, advanced classes as possible. And so kids take as many as they can, and as many subjects as they can. The problem is everybody isn't good at every subject. The science and math kid probably isn't great at English. They might be, right? And so they torture themselves, or they're tortured in high school, studying and working, and they have no life, and they're just trying to study all the time. So her focus was the classes I like, the things I'm good in, I took advanced in those classes. And obviously her GPA would be much higher then, and she'd have a more balanced schedule. They're telling kids now to pull back on all their activity because it's in high school, it's way too much. And even Harvard and some major colleges now released a thing last year. They're trying to change the admissions thing. And they're trying to change the emphasis. Rather than the more you do, the better. It's not that. They're trying to have the kids be more balanced because it kind of starts there. Everybody's trying to get to a great college. And so what do I need to do to get there? So they're doing all this stuff. And so they're trying to dial it back. And even the community service, I read the thing, one of the things that said they want everybody to do service, but they said they want them to do service in their family. I just imagine all the moms signing off on that. Oh yeah, let's do all this. Empty the dishwasher once a week. But they wanted to give to their family. They wanted, because everybody's so disconnected, to be part of the family more, to participate there, and to help there. Like whether it's their grandparents are helping, or their brother or sister who has problems or something. So they wanted to see a little more benevolence happening there. So we'll see if that ever trickles down to reality, down to the high school level. And people like me can come and talk about this, but will anybody really make any changes? Few of you will, right? The other thing is that, if we went around here, we probably have many colleges represented here, right? I mean, there's probably a different college for almost everybody here. Right? And everybody probably says they like their college. They had a good college experience, whatever that means nowadays. It means getting drunk. But they all feel their school is good. And you know what? They're all good. Division 1, 2, and 3, school with 1,000 kids, 50,000, they're all good schools. They're all good colleges. They are good. So any college your kid goes to is a good college. It's going to be a good experience. People every year I hear of colleges I've never heard of. Like, where's that? I went yesterday, some school. Kid went all the way to some school in Vermont that I never heard of. So every school is a good school. So if we can actually believe that, then there'll be less stress rather than everybody trying to get into a school that rejects 95% of the people who apply to it. Top named school. Okay, and think of those dropout rates. Those dropout rates for these high is not just UC. It's across the country. There's a reading articles that kids can't manage life away from home. So think of that. Think of what kind of kid do I want to have one day. They can live without me managing their life. What would it take? What could I do daily in their schedule, in their activities, that would help them to feel more ownership of their life? Like they have to think about what they're doing, they have to plan what they're doing, they have to experience some consequences. That one idea is once your kid can tie their shoes, you stop tying their shoes. Whatever they can do for themselves, stop doing it, let them do it. Kids actually, although they are very spoiled at times and entitled, they want you to do everything. Please, they want you to do everything, especially if they're used to that. You're going to have to push responsibility on them. No, you're going to do this. You're going to sort your laundry. You know what this lady the other night said? This is like, I'm old. See my gray hair? Older than a lot of you. And a lot of these values they're talking about now is like when I grew up. but I was born a long time ago, in the 50s, in the 60s. So they're saying this, they did a longitudinal study for kids all over the country and families all over the country to see the kids that are the most successful when they're out of college. One of the main factors, correlations with success through college, after college. And it was the kids that did the most chores from early on in their life. They're doing research on that one. Chores. Me, that sounds funny. But that. So just think of that. I mean, you've got your Stanford research here, high level. Chores. Pick up your shoe. See that? You left that? Clean up. Chores. Right? So why would there be a value in chores? Just think about it. So what's the value? You're participating in the family, right? You're being what? Responsible. You're maybe accountable for your mess, obviously, but also you're helping. If you're doing the trash, you're doing the yard, you're doing something. You're contributing to the family. You're giving to a greater whole, something beyond yourself, right? Something you have to remember that you have to do. And it's hands-on, right? It's like physical, which kind of grounds us to do physical rather than just intellectual stuff all the time. I didn't think I was going to talk about that. But kids will actually enjoy doing chores once they get into it. They'll feel like they are a part of something. They feel they have some value. They're not just, a freeloader on the ship, being waited on by us as servants. Our kids are kind of like the prince and the princess, and we serve them, right? We do whatever we can for them. Whatever they say, we'll do. Whatever we think they need, we're going to do. So we're a little bit overprotective, over-parented, over-loving our kids. And a lot of kids rebel from parents. They push parents away. They act out. They do a lot of the stuff. You think, well, this kid's being oppositional. This kid's being defiant. This kid's being rude. It's all true. But they're doing it so they can breathe. They can get some identity. So the other thing to do with your kids, rather than do everything for them, is to help them find their passion and their interest. And this is something I think we are actually really good at in our communities. Because we expose our kids to all kinds of opportunities. I mean, there's everything. There's the pivot thing, some guys are doing stuff for space. Expose your kids to a lot of different things, whether there's athletics, sports, whatever, brain stuff, creative things, and see what sticks with them. Everybody's born with 2 or 3 things they're really good at, or pretty good at. And once a kid finds something they really care about, they want to do that again, right? Because they care about it. It's not because mom wants me to do it, it's good for, no, I like doing this. I like photography, I like playing the guitar, no, I like reading about astronomy, and then they'll want to do it. So they're finding their interest, they're finding their strength, and when you find something you're naturally interested in and good at, you get confidence from that. Confidence comes from competence, right? And it's not that complicated to get confidence when it's something you care about, because you want to do it, you want to learn about it, you want to get involved in it. We have we got a great leadership group of kids from different high schools. And, we have them come and do assemblies to the middle school kids. And I interviewed these high school kids who are not like I was in high school. They're not like any of the kids I counsel. They don't do drugs. They don't party. They're not crazy. They're like a 35-year-old. They're so sensible. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. When I ask them, it took me like a lot of decades to figure out the way you are. And you must have incredible parents. And they do. Because they're kind of balanced and they're healthy and they don't feel they have to live for other people. They're not trying to, fit in. They're confident. They're calm. Calm. So we have them talk to younger kids and say what they do when their other friends start doing drugs and how they help their friends, what they deal with it, how they de-stress when they're stressed out, what they do for fun on weekends. And so they're kind of peer mentors. And when I asked them, I go, well, why don't you drink on the weekends? Because I don't know if you know, but a lot of high school kids drink. Oh. Did you know that? So the California Healthy Kids Survey is something that's given to all public schools anonymously every other year. And percentages of kids who drink alcohol or smoke marijuana or do drugs goes up as the kids get older, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. We certainly know there's a lot of consumption on college campuses. So all these kids, when I say, why don't, seriously, alone, not in the microphone, why don't you go to the party and get drunk on the weekend? Like all the kids with straight A's are doing. Not all the kids, but a lot of the kids are great kids that are de-stressing by doing drugs because they're so stressed out. They're taking Xanax. Or they got to drink because they have no other way to turn their head off because they're so driven and over-scheduled and achieving. And they all talked about a passion they had. They all talked about something they cared about. When I asked them, I go, so why don't you? They go, because, I really like this thing. On Saturdays, I go and I do this thing, this internship thing, or I go volunteer at this thing at the hospital, or I go do this thing, or I don't want to do that because I get this thing in life I want to do. I mean, it sounds so sensible, right? One day I want to be this, I want to do this, so I don't want to get derailed from that by getting into drugs or doing that. I don't want to go, I want to be able to go this way. I go, wow, they have a vision, they have a direction, they have something that's out there they're going for, and that's propelling them. So a lot of what we do with kids is we try to help them find their passion and their direction and their talent. And like Matthew is a teenager back there, he's filming tonight, he's into film and photography, but he's in a lot more than that, he's an ASB president. Actually, we have a student from Redondo High School. Should we let him stay here? Yes, we will. No, stay here. He's an ASB president. I actually asked Roma's son, Dylan, but he's too busy tonight. He's very busy. He does a lot of filming for us. So helping your kid find their interest, helping their passion, something that they're interested in. It's inside of them. It's born with it. You got to see what that is. What is it they're good at, that they care about? And you probably have a sense of it. You probably saw it in them when they're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. They're like, they're kind of like this. They kind of are good at that. Let them do that, wherever it is. Get exposure to that. It may not be a school thing. And that will give them some direction in life. I'll take questions in a while. I'll finish my speech. Okay, so they're saying that too. That the kids in college that are doing well are kids that have a passion already. So passion means they're allowed to develop themselves. They're allowed to find what they like. It's not something that's forced on them. You need to be this kind of person. You need to take this. You need to go here. You've got to take these lessons, practice, rehearsals. It's like they've been allowed, the parent that has allowed that kid to be who they are, to be unique in their own uniqueness. Okay, and not just a reflection, on us. Okay. So it's kind of a difficult thing when they're saying, it's hard to even say it. Let kids fail. Let kids fail. Like, if you think about it in life, lessons you've learned, and what did you learn? What taught you something in life? Unfortunately, it's usually not a good experience. It's not something that went great. Something that went great is good. We're happy. We won the game. Everybody's cheering. Or I did good. Right? That's good. And that's, it's an encouragement, it's a positive thing. But when you go through something hard and painful, you don't feel like you're learning anything while you're going through it, right? But later you learn something from it. It forged or shaped your character. And so a lot of kids are saying are not being allowed to experience any disappointment, any pain, any frustration. They can't handle frustration. They want to immediate everything. And so however you can translate that in your parenting, that they need to experience, because when they get out of your home one day, they're going to experience, right, how much negative do we experience every day versus positive? I'll be nice and say it's 50-50, right? But it's pretty even, right? That there's stress, there's conflict, there's disappointment, there's pain, there's frustration, right? In life, that's part of life. So if your kid is not experiencing those emotions or those experiences because we're protecting them from that, because we don't want them to feel this, we don't want them to feel that, they're not getting developed in a healthy way. Okay? And they're not being prepared to live on their own one day, when that's real life. And schools, employers want people that have toughness inside of them, and perseverance inside of them. Sports are good in that way because sports kind of mimics real life. right? You gotta sacrifice, you gotta be disciplined, you gotta work hard, you gotta prepare, and you're not gonna succeed most of the time. You're not gonna win, or someone else is gonna play instead of you, right? So you're dealing with all those difficult emotions, so it's a good microcosm for real life. We have to make our home life that way too. So when your kid screws up, messes up, missteps, makes a mistake, rather than panicking on the outside, you can panic on the inside, go scream in your pillow. Don't freak out on your kid. Rather than panicking, think like, oh, this is a learning opportunity. This is great, I'm so excited. Because while they're living in your safe nest, they can learn from it. And so you could go, wow, you didn't turn your assignment in, or you didn't do this. Wow, they gave you the mark to with a 0 or whatever. Oh, wow, how do you feel about that? Wow. They're worried about how you feel. They're worried they're going to be in trouble, right? How do you feel about that? Well, gosh, what do you think you can do about that? Don't be like, want me to answer? Let them think about it. It's their life. They screwed up. What could you do differently? What could you do differently next time? What can you do differently? What do you think? Well, I was thinking maybe I should, study ahead of time. Hey, ding ding, right, or whatever. But let them think about, how do you feel about that? Well, yeah, I feel horrible, whatever. So, kind of back off from your parenting a little bit and let them, reflect a little bit. Okay? Let them solve some of the challenges that they're faced with. Anything that's difficult, anything that seems painful, anything that seems hard, that's a good thing. They're in your family. Our families are not reality, right? There's so much safety and love. It's reality for a family, and it's wonderful. But again, it's not reality for the real life. And I'm not saying make your family a mean place where you're screaming at your kids and like a mean sheriff coming to town. But when they're faced with a challenge, whatever, you come alongside them and you're going to try to help them figure it out. Help them cope with what they're doing. Help them, okay, what's your plan today? You're going to, how'd it go? Did it work? Well, I said, this part worked, that part didn't work, I got to adjust it here with these kids, or with that teacher, or with that coach, or whatever, And keep, working with them that way. Let's see. So we learn from life. So look for life experiences they can learn from. Okay? And, I was talking to a parent and I go, we keep talking about these talks. We have these talks and these themes, but I think it's really hard for parents to change. It's really hard for parents to change their, how they live their life, what's guiding them. And I thought, well, what's hard about changing? So what is hard about changing? I'm asking you. Who can raise their hand and tell me what's hard about us changing our parenting, some of the stuff I've talked about tonight? Well, why do you think it's hard to make a change?
We're in a habit.
We're in a habit?
Fear.
Fear of? Fear of what?
Unknown.
The unknown. So I let my kid experience something we don't know what happened. What'd you say?
Paradigms.
What?
Paradigms.
Paradigm? Different way to think, right? Different way to think. But if you think of a coach in sports, what is the coach trying to do with the kids and the team? On the little 8-year-old soccer team, what's he trying to do? He's trying to protect them. He's trying to have them not fall, get hurt. He's trying to make sure they don't get disappointed. He's trying to make sure they don't feel rejected. No. Right? He's pushing, they're challenging, they're encouraging, they're teaching, they're guiding. Right? So we need to have a little bit of that. Also, I think what's hard for parents to change is that we're stuck in the paradigm we're stuck in is, everybody's racing for this goal of getting into a great college, really. It's kind of towards this college application and getting in a school, and maybe we're really concerned about how we look to our neighbors, or our friends, and we brag about our kids, like our little race horses that we're developing. How fast is yours run? Mine won the steeplechase last week. Really? Well, mine jumped over the hop. I jumped that way. Well, that's really hard. So, we're in competition maybe with other parents, and we think it's a reflection on us. If our kids aren't doing great, or if they don't get a great school, then we're not so great as a person. you know, so we have to change some of that, not be so caught up in all that stuff. And so the things on the top there: honesty, perseverance, teamwork, sacrifice. Oh yeah, these kids. So we went, me and this other high school student, when we were interviewing all these leadership kids. So we did a little interview with them, and it was astonishing. Every kid showed up 10 minutes early. You know, the way adults are like, oh, I always run late. Not everybody. Some people come early, some people come on time, some people run late, some people whatever. But these kids were all up. I go, God, they're early. The kid's early. That kid's early. It's like 10 minutes early. They're sitting there. And I go like, so I finally said, why are you here 10 minutes early? Like, what? Because I want to be on time, I'm focused, I want to make sure in case I got lost, I want to be ready in case you want to start early. I'm like, wow, these kids are really, really something. Organized. So sometimes you're talking to your kids, they may not give you an answer you want, or they may not be able to figure it out what you're talking about, but you can give it a day or two. You don't have to get a conclusion to every conversation right when you start. Like, let's talk about this thing, and then, you know, they're on the hot seat and you're interrogating them, and then they don't give you the answer that you want or whatever, and then you're like, so you might drill them, you know, challenge them more or something. You know, use different environments for talking, right? Like in the car, going for a walk, different activities, go out and eat, you know, more relaxed kind of stuff. That's not always, you know, most kids are not going to want to talk staring like this. But that's what we do as parents. We're like, okay, you're in trouble, I'm the prosecutor, and you're in trouble. Oh yeah, it's just really, if you read the bottom of that, it's kind of astonishing that families that eat meals together, 2 or 3 meals a week together, have like 40% less problems in their family of social emotional problems, of depression, of anxiety, of drug problems, of promiscuity, of all this stuff, just because they eat dinner together. Again, another very simple thing like chores. Eat together. High-level research findings. Eating together. So I'm thinking, gee, they're probably not having a family therapy session. But something about eating together, being together, you know, like a lot of kids, they eat 5 minutes, parents say, they're gone. I go, why don't you have them help maybe prepare the meal? Why don't you maybe have the kid help clean up after the meal? Be together a little bit. Be part of what's going on. We're not like servants waiting on them, the little king and the little prince and the princess. Okay? So, but eating together, there's a bond obviously that happens there, a connection there. It's great all your dads are here. Because kids, as they get into the middle school, high school, they need the male relationship is really important, and especially boys. But girls do too. They need the male influence. We're very, one half of our brain, we're like rhinoceroses, very simple. We're not complicated. It drives women crazy. So, but they need that sort of an anchor, and they need a relationship with you. They need time with you. So I'm challenging all of you, moms and dads, to try to develop more hangout time with your kids, where you're not doing anything. Just looking at the stars, looking at the sun, looking at a flower, or doing some fun activity that's just fun. It's not towards a goal of achievement thing. You know, it's just a hangout time. Our brain needs downtime like that. And relationship-wise, kids need that. It grounds kids. It makes them feel secure. They're not getting 40% less personal problems because they eat dinner together. That sounds crazy. You don't have to pay for therapy. You don't have to pay for rehab. Just eat together. You know? So what that tells us is relationship, the kids participating in the family. That's what we're kind of hearing. Grounds a kid, makes them feel more part of everyday life. And there's it's on here. You need to look up this website, okay? Because everything's through technology, kids' lives. And if you're not aware of technology, you're not going to be able to figure out what's happening with your kid. Not that you can figure everything out anyway, but you increase about 85% understanding your kid. So it's the best website for parents I found, connectsafely.org. It's on the sheet of paper. And look at it. It's got everything about everything happening with every modern company and social media and platforms and what's going on. And it helps you understand your kid more and life more by looking at that. And we're a role model. Our kids copy us. They copy what we do. not so much what we say. So, for texting and driving, they will too. So just look at this little success scale here. We have performance and the quality of life on the left there. And we have the activity schedule, and it's like the typical bell curve, right? It's really good to have stress and effort because it helps us achieve. The performance goes up. And the life is good because we're involved, engaged in life, and we're doing things that are good. But if we have too much activity, too much going on, you see the down curve. And the quality of life goes down. And that's the social, emotional problems that are happening with kids. That's the lack of emotional and maturity development that's happening because they're all doing just too much activity. And you can only do so much. You burn yourself out after a while. And that's that. And that's that. You can read the card. And then I want to tell you, don't give up. Okay, when you feel overwhelmed. And hang on. Who is that? And then don't forget to show your love. Don't forget to tell your kids you love them. Just not in front of their friends. But telling you to give your kids a hug tonight. Dads, give your kid a hug. Even if your dad didn't hug you. I gave my dad a hug, he didn't know what to do. I'm not kidding. You know what to do, he stood there. Oh my God. But as I hugged him more over the years, he goes, oh, okay, when you say goodbye, you're going to give me a hug. He kind of got into it, So, physical contact's really important. Physical contact to show your love. And tell your kids you love them, because you do. And most of all, you got to stay flexible. Okay, I want to thank you for listening to me, and I'm going to ask our wonderful principal, Kelly Keller, to come up now.